Hey Mixers, welcome back to another WNBA player props video. We have 5 games on the slate for tomorrow, although some of them don't look like the best games, but let's go ahead and jump into the recap first, and then we will get on to the bets for tomorrow. All right, guys, so there's just no good way to say it. We had a reverse sweep today, 0-3 on the day to cap off what has been a horrible week. We have not had a reverse sweep since over a month ago. I think like the beginning of June. We had a couple that were like 2-mans where they both didn't hit. We've never had a reverse sweep of 3, but we have had a couple of like 5-mans, I think, where like 3 of them didn't hit and 2 of them did. So I'm not happy about that. I did not watch the game. I'm sure that would have been even more frustrating if I had watched the game. I was watching the NFL preseason game. But I was watching the stat updates. I was wondering for a second if Tiffany Hayes was even on the court. She did not take a shot in the first half of the game. And by the end of the game, she had taken 2 shots, but she did miss them both. So she gave us 0 points there. Thank you a lot for that, Tiffany. Kiki Iriafin, I know she looked like she was in foul trouble. I know she had 4 personal fouls, so she might have lost some time for that. But like I said, I didn't watch the game, so I'm not exactly sure. So she ended up at 6. She probably could have got us there. I'm assuming she sat because she had those 4 fouls and lost some minutes. But obviously the game was just low scoring in general too. So nobody, like Veronica Burton hit her lines. That was about it. Brittney Sykes over 13.5 points. Obviously she only had 8. So it was a miserable day for the Mystics in general. Pretty bad day for the Valkyries as well, just because it was a low-scoring game. That does, I only lost 1 unit. I told you guys I was only going to bet the 1 slip with these 3 players, so I only lost 1 unit. So as far as the loss, it's not that bad, but it kills our stats, our best bet stats. So we are now at 75, 56, and 2. That's down to 57.25%. We do have a big game slate tomorrow, so we'll try and pick that up a little bit tomorrow, but I'm not liking a lot of the games, and I wanted to talk through them with you. So I put them here on the screen. The first game, well, a couple of them start at the same time, but we got the Mercury and the Dream in Atlanta. These 2 teams just played each other in Phoenix, and Atlanta got the surprise win there. Brittney Griner is doubtful for this game. Ryan Howard was moved up to doubtful, but then I think back to out. And then Jordin Canada is also questionable. So I'm not sure how many of the Atlanta Dream will even be playing in this game. The Phoenix Mercury have been looking pretty good. They just played a pretty good game against the Indiana Fever. And I was looking at their lines, but I didn't feel good about any of them. So I don't have any Mercury players or Dream players at all. I just want to stay away from that game. I don't know who's going to be on the court. I can't count on Allisha Gray to score 19.5 points, but I also don't dare bet the under. So in the Liberty Sun game, you guys know the Sun are on my banned list. The Liberty lines are really high. The lines are higher than any other game they've had. Like the game against the Sparks, the game against the Lynx, the game against the Wings. These lines are even higher than that. So I don't know if that means Vegas thinks this game is going to be competitive. The only thing I'm thinking here is to stay away. So I'm not betting anything here. It's the Connecticut Sun at home. So if you want to go to Tina Charles, you could. I'm not going to do that. They're on my ban list. I'm not betting them for the rest of the season. I've already said that. And usually I will bet in the team playing against them, like 1 bet. But in this case, all the Liberty lines are so high that I don't dare bet under, because of course they could have a great day against this team if it's competitive at all. But if it's a blowout, obviously they're going to sit. So the last time they played, they blew them out by 48 points, and they sat and nobody hit their lines. And so that would lead me to the unders, but I don't dare bet the unders because they'll easily get them if the Sun can keep up, which they have been doing in the past few games. The Valkyries Sky game might be an interesting one. We're not getting too many props for it yet. Obviously, this Valkyries game just ended, so I expect to get a few more props for that game. But Angel Reese is not going to be playing, so this is probably going to be another low-scoring game, like a miserable game like tonight was. The only good game on the slate is the Fever and the Wings, so I do want to have some action in on that game. Oh, no, that's not true. Then we also have the Sparks and the Storm, which I want some action in on that game as well. So I'm going to go in on those 2 games. and kind of stay away from these other three. If you guys are seeing something in these other three games that you really like, let me know and I'll take a look at it. But I was combing through the stats all day and did not find anything that I liked. So I do have two best bets for you. And so if you just want to comment hashtag in the mix to get in the mix for the cash giveaway, and then let me know what you think about these altered line plays. I'm going to give you out some like goblin plays, which I've done before. Like I've done posts, or I've done posts on X or posts on YouTube, and just giving out some of my favorite goblins for the slate. And I usually will be betting those as well. But I've never put them in a video before. So let me know if you want me to do that, include a couple of goblin lines every day at the end of the video. And I might start doing that. So the first one here, we're going to go in on Gabby Williams. The over 16.5 points and assists. It's just too low. I mean, it should be 17.5. So we're getting 1 point of value at least. She's over this in 67% of games. And I do expect this to be a higher scoring game. So I know the Storm have been playing low totals lately, but this Sparks team is freaking scary, guys. Like if you read the roster for this Sparks team and they're all healthy, like Ray Burrell's healthy, Cam Brink is healthy. Obviously, all the starters are healthy and have been playing amazing. Julie Allemand has been playing well. So this Sparks team is scary, and they are going to try to make a run for the playoffs. I don't think they can do it, but with the Sky falling out of that race and the Mystics kind of playing themselves out of that race, I mean, maybe they could. They'd have to catch a couple of teams, but I don't think they'll make it there. But I think they'll try to make it there, and they have a deadly roster that is all healthy right now and like firing on all cylinders. So I expect them to run the score up, and I do expect the Storm to be able to play up to them. The Storm are a team that kind of play to their opponent. So if the opponent is playing, higher scoring game, they'll play up to that. If the opponent is a lower scoring team, they'll play down to that. So that's been kind of annoying. But I do think this is going to be a good game for props, and I'm going to go in on a few of them, starting with Gabby Williams here. And then the next one here, just take your pick of whichever Sparks player you like the best. The last time I said that, every single Sparks player went over their lines except for Kelsey Plum. I said just choose one of these big girls in the, down low, like Hamby, Azrae Stevens, or Rakia Jackson, and, you probably have a good day. And they all hit their lines. That was against the Mystics, I think. But I'm going to go Azrae Stevens over 12.5 points. She did lose some of her minutes to Cam Brink when Cam came in and played 15 minutes in the last game. So I expect that to happen again. But that might just make her even more efficient to give her like a little bit of a rest. So because she's been able to hit the lines. Now, another thing to consider is in the head-to-heads. You can't really use the head-to-head matchup for this particular matchup because Kelsey Plum was not playing in that game. And when Kelsey Plum does not play, that drastically changes the feel of this team. They didn't assist at all. The Storm don't really give up assists anyways. But Kelsey Plum obviously is a huge assister and facilitator of this team, and she did not play. So we can't really count on that historical head-to-head data from the one game that they did play earlier in the year. She is over 64% of her games on the road, though, Azrae is, and she has the best away splits of anybody on this team. So this Sparks team plays better at home, although they did just go on like a 5-game road trip where they won, I think, 4 out of those 5, or maybe they won 5 out of the 5, including one at the Liberty in New York. So they've been playing okay on the road lately, but typically they play better at home. And Azrae Stevens has the best away splits. So that's why I landed on her. No other reason really besides that. She did have 16 in that blowout loss, which Kelsey Plum didn't play in. So this game is in Seattle. I have a bonus bet. They're giving us Erica Wheeler over 1.5 3-pointers for plus money. Usually this is minus money. So they're giving us an extra payout to take this bet. I don't know if that's because they don't think she's going to play very many minutes. Her minutes have been declining sharply in the past couple of games. But here's the thing. Like, if she doesn't get 30 minutes, that's not a big deal because all she does anyways is shoot like 4 or 5 threes a game. And that's it. Like, she doesn't really do anything else. And so we're going to take her for over 1.5 3-pointers for some plus money in one slip. And she's over in 62% of games. She did have 3 against them earlier in California, which that was a huge blowout win for the Storm. And I don't think it's going to be a blowout win this time. I think it's going to be close, but I also think it's going to be a high-scoring game. So I do think she's going to get her opportunities. And then for now, that's all the bets that I have other than these goblin lines, these altered lines. But let me talk you through them so that you know where my head is at with these games. All right, so our first lean is going to be Aari McDonald over 3.5 assists. This is a lowered line, so the normal line is 4.5 assists. She's hooked the 4.5 line 3 times in a row in her last 3 games without Caitlin Clark. And these were against teams who give up assists normally. So the Phoenix Mercury, the Chicago Sky, the Las Vegas Aces, all of those teams give up, a decent amount of assists. I wouldn't say the most in the league, but she should have been able to easily hit that line, and she didn't. So that's what worries me here. That's why I don't want to take the normal line against this Wings team who should give up some assists, but I don't trust Aari McDonald's minutes. I don't trust her role on the team because they might put her in and just have her facilitate the whole game. They might put her in and just have her score. They might put her, even though she's the starting guard, they might put her in and then have her not do anything, which actually happens a lot. So I don't trust her. She had 6 in both games against the Wings earlier in the season. One was without Caitlin Clark and one was with Caitlin Clark, and it was 6 both times. So she should be able to hit her 4.5 line, but I'm just going to lower it to 3.5 and take it in a slip. And then the next one here is Natasha Howard over 4.5 rebounds. The normal line is 5.5 rebounds. I normally would be okay with taking that 5.5 line, but her minutes have been really bad. Look at this minutes chart. This blue line represents her minutes, and they have just been zigzagging like crazy. Obviously, this game, was a blowout, but I just can't count on her minutes to be there. She is over in 75% of games, which is why I like the line. She had 13 and 2 in the 2 head-to-heads against the Wings. And this lowered line, she's only missed 1 time in an away game where Caitlin Clark wasn't on the court, and it was a blowout. So all the other games that she missed in were at home or with Caitlin Clark on the court. So that's why I like this lowered line here. I like the regular 5.5 line. It's just this Wings team is finally healthy. Everybody's healthy and on the court. Dejanai Carrington's healthy and on the court. Lie Rue's on the court. Louisa Gieselsloter has been playing amazing. So their centers have been playing really well. And so I don't know. I don't know if she can get there. I think she can, but I'm going to lower the line. And then Azurá Stevens, this is probably my favorite one, but over 5.5 rebounds, just the hit rate is insane. She's over in 96% of games this season. She only had 1 miss at the very beginning of the season against one of the league's best rebounding teams. She did have 10 in her last matchup against the Storm, but as we've discussed, Kelsey Plum was not on the court for that game, and so that could change things up a little bit. And Cam Brink also was not on the court, and she is going to come in and get some rebounds as well. So those are the lines for today. Let me know what you think about them. Here's the review. Gabby Williams over 16.5 points and assists. Azurá Stevens over 12.5 points. And then the bonus bets, Erica Wheeler over 1.5 3-pointers. And then our alt lines, Aari McDonald over 3.5 assists, Natasha Howard over 4.5 rebounds, and Azurá Stevens over 5.5 rebounds. Those alt lines obviously won't count towards the best bet record, and neither will the bonus bet because it's a plus money bet. So it'll just be those 2 at the top. And I will add anything in the pinned comment. I like Rickea Jackson. I like Hamby. I like all the Sparks players, actually. But I'm only going to choose to go in on 1, maybe 2 of them because I don't want to overexpose myself when I'm trying to recover from the last 4 days in a row. So let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.